Welcome back live right here on the Borders and Borders hotline of the nightly sports call. Pittsburgh CW, Bob Pompeani with you all the way up until 11 o'clock. More calls on the way. We've got tweets, too. If you'd like to tweet, it's at KD Pomp. And Henry has done that, and he disagrees with a couple of things here. One of them, he says, until all 5 power conferences can play for the national championship means nothing. Only 3 conferences were represented. Well, Henry, I understand your premise there, but I also know they're looking for the 4 best teams. And they will use the eye test. They will dig deep into strength of schedule and everything else at their beck and call to try to make the choice here. And in this case, I would agree with it. You know, and I think last year a lot of people felt Ohio State was better than Penn State, even though Penn State won a conference. So they got a little taste of their own medicine there. But Alabama had 1 loss, and that 1 loss was to a team that was ranked #1 when they lost to them in their place. So that to me is a very, you know, that's a tough game to play. It was their only loss. I think Ohio State didn't get this pick mostly because of their 55 points allowed at Iowa. Anytime you have that, and looking back, Penn State probably had the same problem. They got hammered by Michigan. You know, they lost to Pitt, 2 losses, whatever the case may be. That big, wide margin in that Michigan game, I think, hurt them, just as I do in this case with Ohio State losing by 31 points on the road to a team that I don't believe at the time was ranked. So I think therein lies your difference there. Let's go out to line 1. We got Rich in Johnstown. Hey, Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Hey, you have to forgive me because I've been going to Columbus since I was in my mother's womb, and we're an Ohio State family. But
that's fine.
I get the fact that Alabama had only had 1 loss, and of course Ohio State had 2. But you have to think of their elimination game in the last game of the season, which was essentially a first-round game, get them to the quarterfinals, which is the conference championship, and then earn about a place in the semifinals. And they lost. They lost while Ohio State ran the table.
But again, it's who they lost to and where. Ohio State also lost a home game. I know it was to a good Oklahoma team, but it was a home game. So I think those factored into that decision. And I think, you know, Ohio State's a good program, solid. Urban Meyer, I mean, you don't need to say more. You should be proud of your team because they had another very good year. It's just the way this is. You're going to have subjectivity and you're going to have debate, and that's the way they like it. Pete in Hampton joins us right now on Pittsburgh CW on the Borders and Borders hotline. Hey, Pete.
Bob, real quick. Ohio State is a football factory. Look at the NFL players from the university that are out there. Penn State is an ice cream factory. They make P.T. Paterno good night.
That has nothing to do with the current conversation about why a team got in and why a team didn't get in. So, bottom line is Ohio State didn't cut the mustard. They didn't get, and they're going to have a nice bowl game, and they had a tremendous year, but they're not better than Alabama. So says the committee, and I would agree with the committee, as I did last night. I thought Alabama would be the pick for the reasons I said, and I believe it, and that's what you got right now. Now, if you look at those matchups, it's going to be interesting because Clemson and Alabama, I believe this is the 3rd year in a row they're going to play each other. They know each other very well. I'm anxious to see the odds. If anyone out there has what the odds makers are saying, I would almost bet that Alabama would be favored in this game, even though they're the 4th seed against #1 Clemson. The more I watch Clemson, I mean, I was impressed with their win against Miami in the ACC, but I also think they're not as good as they were last year. I think Alabama has the interior play to deal with them, and I still wonder about if they can, put together offense from their quarterback, given the defense they're going to face in Alabama. So spread is, but I'll check on somebody on Twitter if you want to hit me up. At KD Pomp, let me know. All right, we'll do for a break. We'll take it. Come back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW.